Fist to you all! It is Friday once again, 4 p.m. in the sweet, icy cold that is the UK as I celebrate here as we just completed, at least our playthrough of Digimon Stranger in Time. I think it's called that, Time Stranger. I don't even know the name of the game. The new Digimon game, which was phenomenal. 60 hours of absolute fun. Was a wild ride, an absolute wild ride. 110,000 plus digis were spammed in this wonderful chat. And also, so many of them leveled up and became their own Digimon, which has now been cemented in the history books for something to do. But onwards we go, and onwards we will, because Jagex has been on the phone. And Jagex have suggested that we try out old school RuneScape. They're going to throw some cash our way to investigate it. So on Monday morning, we will jump into old school RuneScape. They've said 3 hours, but we'll see what becomes of old school RuneScape. We'll see. There's a lot of doubters amongst my audience as to how long I'll last. But we'll see. I've never touched it. I know nothing about it. I don't know what class to be. I know absolutely sod all whatsoever. So we'll do a bit of a blind start and see what I can figure out in time. We'll see what I can figure out. But it's not why you're here right now. Of course, for many years now, you guys have been sending us tales of your interesting encounters, and perhaps we can get some RuneScape ones in if you've had some there. We've had a few in the past of the encounters you've had with the people who are just names on the internet, mysterious strangers that come across your path behind that keyboard and maybe add wonderfully, amazingly wholesome, just wonderful experiences, or perhaps they're the devil and they do crazy things. Let's get started here and see where we're going. I know nothing about the stories we're getting into today. They are, of course, checked and edited by our wonderful Bex, so don't worry if you're not a native English speaker. Our Bex will correct them for you and get them in front of mine eyes. So you can send your stories to drama@preachgaming.com. That would be wonderful. Otherwise, the show doesn't happen. And you don't want that, do you? You don't want that. No. So we've got a few that have been recommended. I like this one. Let's start with a newbie brother, because brothers are noobs. As somebody who's currently playing through Planet Crafter on 2 different saves with each of my sons, I can tell you sometimes it's quite painful to experience them trying to be good. Well, because they're gamers. Oh, no names needed. Okay. No games needed. That's fine. Arbex corrects the game and stuff depending on what story I pick, because we don't know which game category to be in until I choose a story, do I? Do we? Smart asses. We don't know. All right, let's have a little bit of a newbie one to warm up. Mikey, chat, and of course the good lady Bex. I hail from a place you would like to guess. It is the land of beer and chocolat. Switzerland? Also, a lot of governments, and I do mean a lot of good governments. Yeah, that would be Team Switzerland, I would guess. You guessed it, I think. It would be... Oh, Belgium. Yeah, the old Belgian chocolates. Not bad. I do have a very brief visit to Belgium. I joined a friend on a journey to buy cheap cigarettes. He said he was going to drive to Belgium and back in a day. And it sounded fun, so I went with him. It wasn't that fun, actually. It's a lot of time just being in a car. But we did get to go to Belgium. Just across the border and then drive back again. Awesome. Yeah, it was cheap cigarettes. So that would have been around probably 2005, 2008, maybe, around that period of time. It was effective, apparently, to drive from Manchester to Belgium to buy cigarettes and then drive back to Manchester. I didn't know, but sure. Why not? It was an adventure. So we did it. It was fun. Mikey, I wish to tell the tale of my brother. My brother deserves a legacy. My brother deserves a history. And I wish that history to be shared with your audience, because my brother was a noob. I want to take you to Vanilla WoW. I'm an avid gamer, so World of Warcraft, of course, been on my radar, popping up in all the magazines, ad spots running around, and of course, word of mouth spreading with friends. I immediately, on release, made myself an Orc Warrior to become the champion on the box art. As I played, though, my brother watched over my shoulder. To him, the magic of playing an RPG, which we were both into, with multiple people, just blew his mind. He was absolutely hooked. I played 18 hours at launch, and he stayed awake for the whole thing. And as I fell to the slumber gods, he took to the chair and made a character himself on my account. He played World of Warcraft for the first time after standing next to me for 18 hours and then while I slept. That's a kid who's been waiting for you to fall asleep for probably the last 9 hours. My brother was older than me, so he bought his own version of the game and his own account the very next day after he'd had a taste of it. As all good newbie brothers do, he just spammed me for help all the time. What does LFG mean? People keep saying LFG. Bro, what does Lamau mean? Lamau. Whenever I do something, they're saying Lamau. I helped him out. I ran his character to Wailing Caverns and later to Scarlet Monastery with some guildies. But I can only tell you that on another time. I had to respec for Protections of Fury, which was really expensive at the time, as you'll know. But he was my older brother, and I looked up to him. Our childhood wasn't great, and he had been a rock for me. For some reason, he fell to the dark side, my friends. He enjoyed World of Warcraft lore. I tell you all listening to this today, he not only enjoyed it, he got invested in the lore of World of Warcraft. What kind of fucking nerd gets invested in the lore of WoW? I know you don't really call yourself a lore master, Mike, but in Ashenvale, there is a statue dedicated to Grommash Hellscream. Is there? Where? Where is it? There's a statue of Grommash in Ashenvale? Where? Yeah, I know it's in Ashenvale, dumbasses. At the Demons. Yeah, I'm asking where... I'm not talking to you guys. You fucking waste of time. Audio listeners. You wonderful audio people listening in your cars or on the train or on the bus or wherever it is you might be you're hearing this. Just understand that the people who show up live are complete bastards. And that's why you should be here live, to counteract them. Because they're just horrible to me all the time. I don't know why, but he would visit there regularly. I think in his mind he was either immersed or paying respects to those people, but he would visit that statue all the time. He had made friends with a weird hunter character. They insisted to fight the Alliance around level 25, so they asked me, the godlike epic-geared prot warrior, to help them fight back the hordes of Alliance. Now, of course, I knew this was a waste of fucking time, and I had nothing to do except farming Sitherlands, so alright, I'll go. I honestly was just curious to see what these two low-level plebs were doing. It was, as expected, a lot of corp runs, and then an invasion. But after a lot of running back, take gear off, do it over and over again, they made it. They couldn't do anything. But they played. They had made it all the way to attack Stormwind at level 25. Ineffective, useless, worm-like, but they were in Stormwind, and they were technically alive. As years passed by, ladies and gentlemen, he got some friends IRL to join and started becoming good at PvP. The sweetest guy joined our clique of playing WoW. Our niece and her husband also joined in. We were getting quite a little family get-together. In the Tol Barad expansion, he switched his rogue to the Alliance to become a human rogue. Why? He was tired of killing strangers. He declared that he was going to kill all of us in Tol Barad, his own family. He would hunt us down, poison us, slit our throats. Now, he did this while we were all in comms together, having a really good time. Knowing he was around, him trying to find out where we were. Me and the great guy went to try and find him. But on his rogue, of course, that was a bit of a challenge. It was the best time. Looking back, I appreciate it even more that he paid real life money for a faction change just so he could have this level of banter amongst the family and create the memory I'm telling you of today. Life happened. I got a girlfriend, which fucks up gaming, as we all know. But I managed to trick her into playing with us. The issue we ran into, though, was WoW started to suck. As the misery rolled on, we left the game. My brother, though, kept playing. The latest was the War Within. Mate. Bro. Mate. Game's fixed. Fucking fixed, didn't it, mate? Fucking delves. Housing's coming, bro. Housing's coming. WoW is like super good now, bro. You need to get in. I sighed the heavy sigh, as many people do when they have this all too familiar message arrive. I was reluctant. As I write this tale, Mike, I just resubscribed to World of Warcraft this day under his proviso. As I said, our childhood was not great. And my newbie brother suffered from this quite heavily. A week ago, he took his own life. Man. Oh. Dude. Hey, my heart goes out to you, brother. And your brother. Yeah. That's rough, dude. Sounds like a good guy. Sounds like a really good guy. The reason I resubbed and went to Ashenvale was to see the statue that he visited all those times. I sat at the statue of Hellscream. And I'll be honest as I write this to you, and I was sat there thinking about him. I don't know what the fuck he found here. I don't get it. I like the emotional, like, loving gesture of I'm going to visit this monument that my brother took so much joy from. And just stand there and be like, I don't get it. I think it would be like me maybe going to like a Super Bowl stadium or something, or a big football pitch. Like, this is where, like, England played or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's still a nice gesture, though. Mike and chat. I wanted to write this story because, of course, it's very sad in my life right now, given what's happened. But I think of those fond memories of what me and my brother did. He was wonderful. Despite everything we've been through and the sadness that was part of the real life, the things he did for us just in game in WoW, they'll stay with me forever. And I would just like to put a message out there to anybody listening to this. If you pass by that statue of Hellscream in Ashenvale, remember, there was at least one little newbie brother who was crap at this game, who absolutely praised this statue. Thank you for reading, and I'm just glad to know that the memory of my brother lives on somewhere. Oh, I think that's really sweet, dude. And obviously, there's no words that can express the loss of a brother, especially under those circumstances. But I would just, the closest I can get is relate to my father. But remember the good times. Remember the stuff. Remember the smiles. Remember the laughs. That's the best you can possibly do. It is the best you can possibly do, is remember the good stuff. Praise Gromash, indeed. Praise Gromash. And I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll go and find that fucking statue. Because I have no idea where that is. I have no idea where that is under any circumstances. I don't know. Okay. I will say, in general, I'm very happy to share those fond memories because WoW is very old, as are some of our other MMOs, and unfortunately, that does mean that as time goes on, people we've met and shared moments with do move on. It's happened to me multiple times, and the memories are what we remember. Okay, how can this go wrong? The white lie. Everybody understand? I don't know if white lie is a cultural thing. I actually don't know. Is that a UK thing? Do we all know what a white lie is? Is there anybody who doesn't know what a white lie is? Because Just anybody who doesn't know. I don't really know that yes, you do, but I am curious if anybody does not know. I don't know what the reach of it is. A white lie is supposed to be a harmless lie. A gentle, silly mistelling that shouldn't hurt in any way, shape, or form, right? Yes, it shouldn't be inconsequential is a good word. It's a mistelling that is supposed to be inconsequential because it is what it is. Like, do you like Coke or Pepsi? Depends who paid more. It's a little white lie. No one really cares. It's just advertising, you know? Anyway, the white lie. Good day to the Preach Gaming team that supports this Mancunian idiot. Thanks. Fuck you too, I suppose. And to the good old and fair and just audience, I'm writing to you from one of the 4 commonwealths of the US. Oh my God. You guys are getting extraordinarily cryptic and manipulative with your descriptions of where you live. Now, my state, okay, is known for the largest cave network in the world. Old mountain ranges and rock formations. Montana? I can't say I know much about it. The only thing I know about cave systems in the US is that during whatever dystopian nightmare awaits us is where you're building underground saves. Kentucky. 100% Kentucky. Kentucky cave systems. I know that. Historically, our state was part of Virginia before we separated to become our own 15th state. I hail to you from the fine state of Kentucky. You are correct. Our chat is knowledgeable on the cave systems of the United States. There you go. Very good. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this tiny white lie, Mike, that can have no consequences whatsoever, you need to understand where I'm coming from. All right, okay. First, I just want to say, I am one guilty motherfucker. I am so guilty. I'm aware of it. I do not need you to lay down judgment upon my soul. I'm aware of what I did. Yes. I do not come to you for judgment from the court. Well, probably not. They're already taking judgment. But I come here to ask for atonement for my sins. It depends what you did, sir. Some sins are unforgivable, I'm afraid to say. There are some unforgivable sins out there. What did you do? Mike, if I could maybe gain some favor with you all. I am a very long time viewer of Drama Time. I love the platform and I've long considered how I could formulate this story for years. Good, because Drama Time will be changing in some form in the not too distant future. There are some additions coming to Drama Time, certainly for our live audience to have fun with. Don't tease us. It's on the docket. It's on the docket. So Drama Time is due a refresh. We've not changed it really for the last couple of years. Drama Time is due a little refresh. So it'll be coming. Thank you for the opportunity that you give us all to air and publicly apologize to people who could have been friends if I had not taken advantage of them for no good reason. What did you do? Let's play a guess. You took advantage of some stranger of the internet for no good reason at all. So it's not taking gold for a mount? Maybe? That's not a white lie. Like, maybe it's just a loot roll. I don't know. Yeah, loot is where I'm thinking. Mounts, loot. I know that somebody in my family scammed another member of my family for money for a mount in Vanilla WoW. Really funny. They got them to pay the entire gold cost of a mount, even though they actually had all the gold, but told this other person that they had no money left because they didn't make any while leveling. So they got like, I think it was 40 gold or something like that. They got a free 40 gold. Was it me? It was not me. I can say it was the daughter of my brother. One of the daughters of my brother who did that. Fun times. Allow me to briefly explain why my brain works the way it does through video game history. leading up to why I became a nefarious subterfuger in World of Warcraft. I began with my grandparents. They had both Atari and Nintendo at their house. Dude, I'm so jealous. That's awesome. Your grandparents had consoles? Bro. I am genuinely jealous. The fondest memory I have of going to my grandmother's house is my dad warning me in the car not to accept any food that she might offer. And as a fat kid, that seemed ridiculous because grandmas, of course, bake cakes and wonderful things. She offered me for lunch a tongue sandwich. Non-sexual, it's a cow's tongue on bread. I didn't even know how to process such a request. Like, where are you even buying that from? Tradition, innit? Like, where are you even buying that from? Like, I was so confused. No. My dad said, we'll go for dinner after you've been to your grandma's. Yeah, a tongue sandwich. Yeah, I know now you would get it from the butcher, but in the mind of somebody who's probably pre-double digits, who had never, ever heard of people eating tongue. Weird. My grandparents are alive and well. We're dealing with a youngster. And they still own these systems. Gaming. Granddad, 2025, rocking out the Atari. Fucking send it, dude. Space Invaders, bitch. Stick it up your ass, you new modern fucking games. Let's roll. Cubit, motherfucker. Let's do it. They were old by the time I was playing them, before the turn of the millennium. Super Mario Bros. On the NES was my favorite. Fucking right on, dude. Mario 1 is still gangster to this day. Like, check how often that game is still fucking speedrun. Mario 1 still owns ass. It's amazing. It's such a good fucking game. I could just about manage side-scrolling platformers. Granddad owns the gold-cased Zelda cartridge for the Nintendo. Ooh. I don't like Mario 2. Mario 1 and 3. Mustard. I still prefer Mario 1 over 3, though, to be fair. I remember being in awe as he played games that were far too complex for me at this age. They are console gamers, not PC hobbyists. My dad became the PC guy. I grew intertwined with technology. My younger siblings and peers merely inherited the controller and keyboard. I was born of it, molded by it. Being born in the 90s was actually peak. By the time I was in kindergarten, I was writing in school, learning hooked on phonics at home, and being taught the ropes of MMOs. Watching my dad play his games are also among my earliest memories. Yeah, I'm so thankful for my brother. My dad was really old when he had me, so gaming was out and he was Mr. Career. But my bro convinced my dad to get me a Sega Mega Drive and Mortal Kombat for my birthday. That's a brother right there. That's a brother right there. He said, trust dad, he'll love it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He occasionally let me in the gaming chair as I got older. Between the ages of 5 and 9, I had plenty of excursions into the online worlds of the PlayStation 2 and PC. I was fumbling around in Britannia and Norath from as early as 5 years old. I don't even know what that is. For the PlayStation 2, Dad bought a Logitech NetPlay PS2 controller for SOCOM. What the fuck is that? A Logitech NetPlay controller PS2. Oh my god, it's the controller with a keyboard on it. Alright, I'm gonna bring this up for our little live friends here. But just bear in mind, imagine like an Xbox controller or a PS3 controller, a PS5 controller that's just been like cut in half and then they stuck a keyboard in the middle of it. Beautiful. What a glorious piece of kit this is. I bet that's not even heavy. I guarantee that weighs but a mere 20 kilos or some shit like that to wheel around. SOCOM was shit. I played SOCOM. You got like the special headset, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm pretty sure SOCOM had an exclusive edition that came with all sorts of like military style stuff, so you could sit in your chair and feel like you were part of some Black Ops Special Forces team. And it also worked for EverQuest Online Adventures. That was all quite the graduation from my floppy disk games and my sweet, never to be forgotten Nintendo 64. Praise be to the Nintendo 64. That's why it sits on my shelf behind me. Still, I believe, the best console ever made. The N64 was the creme de la creme. My mother, not a gamer. Well, not an online gamer. I recall one instance of a stranger calling me fruity. Now that is retro, dude. That is fucking retro, you fruity bastard. Calling me fruity in a lobby in SOCOM. My mum was watching and saw. She snatched the keyboard/controller monolith from my hands as I searched for the words to tell her this was normal online behavior and it didn't offend me. She wasn't having it and said this was not acceptable for a child my age. The thing was, she didn't tell me to turn it off. Oh, wait. This is an Emma move. Instead, she asked me how to reply and tell the stranger that that wasn't very kind, and his mother would likely not approve. I don't even know how you respond to that. Has Emma done that? Emma would do that. Yeah. Emma would absolutely do that. Emma's not one for just missing. Emma wants to mother the boys, but she's not going to miss out on the opportunity to give someone shit. Like, there's a line. Right? There's a line that needs to be drawn. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a good opportunity to give someone shit, she's sending it. She'll probably tell the kids not to look so they don't know, but yeah. Once she sent the reply, though, she forbade me from playing the game. Until, of course, eventually she got over it. Mike, I'm 30 years old now. And a story I wish to tell you takes place when I was between 9 and 16. That's right. We're going to between the years 2004 and 2011. The things I'm about to tell you all took place between Classic WoW and Cataclysm. Okay. I started playing World of Warcraft at around 9 years of age on the Boulder Fist server with my dad's second account. I was familiar enough with online gaming. I often helped Dad level his characters or started my own. When WoW came out, he let me try it occasionally. The first character I made for myself was an undead warrior that I named... Pause for dramatic effect here, Mike. And you can use this name, it no longer exists. Deathman. Can we give a round of applause? Can we give a round of applause to Deathman the Undead Warrior? Round of applause for Deathman the Unnamed Warrior. The Undead Warrior. I was trying to make Deathman a thing, Mike. It is a name I had used in several online games, and it was the name that was used for my EverQuest Necromancer. That was my favorite of all my online characters. Wait, there's a Deathman cinematic universe? Wow. Pretty epic retelling of the Deathman universe, of Deathman transcending the bounds of the online space and moving on. You might see it as macabre. I don't. You were 9 years old. I do not see it as macabre. But one way my dad tried to reconcile me that the family dog had passed away was teaching me about necromancer abilities in EverQuest. That's a turn. That's a risky play. That is a risky play. Interesting. It's not how I went about it. But my boys were there when Ben got put down. You see, his thought process was, one of the Necro's beginner pets is a skeletal four-legged doggo. And I'll be honest, it did help me. So as odd as it may seem, thanks, Dad. I'll be honest, though. On top of all that, Deathman sounded so cool to me as a kid. But I didn't really take to the warrior style. I died so often it didn't make sense. I wasn't Deathman, I was Deadman. I enjoyed the Forsaken, but melee combat without heals was, let's say, challenging. Though I had some experience in MMOs prior, strafing, tab targeting, key binding, this was still years... Oh, I see. I had some experience in MMOs, but strafing, tab targeting, and key binding was still years away from my ability. I asked my dad what do. And Papa said there are easier things to play in WoW. Perhaps, live audience, would be a better substitute for the warrior. What is Daddy going to tell him to play? Yeah, there's not even a choice, right? There's not even a choice. Dad convinced me Hunter is a better way to play because it also gets a pet. A warlock? You fucking terrorist. A warlock. He said it can move around. It's versatile. And it's got pet abilities. I took the advice after he convinced me the class was more similar to Guild Wars than EverQuest. And this is when I became Alliance and never turned back. What cemented my love for WoW was stepping into Teldrassil for the first time. Unlucky. Okay. The music, the deep purples of the forest, L, and the architecture built into the trees. I'll be honest, I started in Teldrassil, Night Elf Hunter, very first time in the alpha. I thought it was gorgeous. Compared to what was around at the time, Teldrassil was beautiful. It reminded me of Kelethin in Norath. My new main became a female Night Elf Hunter. And of course, the Hunter class had me hooked immediately. Using ammo was not a bother to me, and the process of taming a pet was fun. Feeding and building the bond with your trusty companion while we pioneer forward in this strange but tameable world of Azeroth. Hunter was my full jam as a kid. Mum and Dad were no longer helicopter parenting me while I was online like they used to. They had many good responsible talks with me about strangers and creeps who were in the online world. Dad told me to pretend to be him online if needed. Now, just whatever you do, don't go around telling people I was him for no reason. But if another player asked me for any personal info as a child online, I was to tell that stranger that I was my dad. But don't say, I am my dad. That's good advice. Now, what I'm not telling you to do, son, is say, I am my dad. That is not what we're asking. That is not what we're suggesting, is to say, I am my dad. And then immediately leave, log out, and report to my parents that stranger danger had occurred online. Now, the PC in the house was secluded in what we named the den. Now, it happened that his, or Daddy's gaming desk faced away from mine. We sat back to back. He may glance over to see me leveling my main with a nod of approval, and I'm sure he wanted to see how far into leveling I could go on my own without his assistance. But many times before I even got to level 20, he would see me re-rolling. It started to get really hard around level 20 and slow leveling. So I leveled almost every class to around 10. And then I did it again while trying every single one of the races. I would screw off in Stormwind, jump around, gawk at level capped players. As a kid, I didn't understand why this would be frustrating to him. Why me spending my time jumping from box to box to box in the city, just randomly inserting myself into people's conversations with strangers instead of leveling, would bother him. In hindsight, I think he wanted to play with me. I think he wanted to eventually have me in dungeons and joining him on adventures. He wanted to see me doing something progressive, doing something good, instead of jerking around on a second subscription that he was paying for. Why don't you level? Huh? He would push and push for me to level my character. And it wasn't long after that when my story takes a fateful turn as to why it's here on Drama Time with you this day. I moved on to Teldrassil to Darkshore, exploring everything I could. While I was questing outside Orbadine, I crossed paths with another player, a dwarven hunter named Soulbear. He was searching for something, a red crystal hidden somewhere in the hills. I didn't have that quest yet, but in my wandering, I had seen such a crystal. I had an idea about where I'd seen it, where it might be. I said I could help. We grouped up and meandered through the foothills, and sure enough, I had seen that red crystal, and there it lay. After this little adventure with a stranger, neither of us felt like actually parting ways. We stayed in group, quested together. We compared our quest logs to see which we both had. We caught up to each other on what we were missing, worked on shared objectives, and by the end of that night, ladies and gentlemen, I had made my first ever proper online friend, Soulbear. We decided to make the ultimate commitment. In many, many ways, people see this as more important than marriage itself in the real world. We added each other on the friends list. It's a big deal. I'm now allowing you to see when I'm online, allowing you to send whispers at any possible opportunity. Yeah, it's a really big deal. In adventuring together, we became acquainted. He told me his age when he asked how old, and then he asked how old I was. Now, I know what my parents had told me, but I didn't want to lose a friend. A real friend. This wasn't some stranger who was randomly talking to me. We had fought together, side by side. We had completed quests together, seen each other level. I didn't want to lose a friend just because he asked me a question. As I stared at my screen, all sorts of things ran through my head when he asked. I considered that he may not want to hang with me if he knew how young I was. My only relation IRL was that the kids at school wanted to play with kids of their grade or older. What if he thought it would be lame to hang around with a kid 3 years younger than him? So I told a little white lie. I know I'm guilty, but who could it really harm? I lied about my age. I told him I was a year younger than he was. That's fine, right? That's fine. A little lie wouldn't be a big deal at first, surely. Even if school subjects came up, even being 3 years apart, I knew vaguely what the other grades were learning. I had heard of maths, and they were doing things like social studies and science, and they cover much the same things, right? And year over year, and I was a bit of a nerd. I was good in school, so I understood what was going on. And to continue to fluff up this lie this far was very manageable. It wasn't a problem at all. After all, he was a kid, just like me, and clearly knew more about the game. I appreciated having a friend, a companion. We continued adventuring together and became closer. He lived somewhere in New England, in a more populated area than anywhere in Kentucky. He taught me about weapon skills, the pilgrimage from Ironforge to Darnassus, lore of the game. We learned together, made mistakes together, grew together. He leveled far quicker than I did. But I could still hold my own in a conversation. I'd tell him about Ultima Online and EverQuest, their differences, how much better WoW was than those games. I recall wishing in conversation with him that WoW should try player housing because it's so interesting in Ultima. Now, somewhere along the way in our early adventures, he asked me another question. Oh, what's he asking? What's he asking? He's got another question. It took a while to ask it, but he's going to ask the question. Meet up in real life. Something simpler than that, actually. Something simpler. No. Are you a girl? Yes. Are you a girl? He asked me if I was a girl because I played a girl character. Mike? As I sat staring at my screen, looking at this question and wondering if he wouldn't play with me again because he knew I was a boy, I decided to tell a little white lie. An innocent lie. What would it matter? I just didn't want him to stop playing and perhaps find it lame. That's all. We didn't live near each other. It wasn't going to be such a big problem. I know I am guilty. For some reason, I decided not only to lie about my age, lie about my school life, but I lied that I was not a bro just like him. I told him that I was indeed a lady. I honestly remember not feeling good about saying this. I didn't take enjoyment in it, but I did it. I did it. I knew it was the wrong thing to do. I knew it wasn't the good thing to do to a friend, but I still did it. This very real person thought I was someone else all the way till Cataclysm. Mike, we're going to get there and the finding out. You kept this lie up for what? 7 years? 7 years. How did you avoid voice comms? I'm so curious how you can keep that going for 7 years. Now, we don't know what grade they're in, but he's saying playground. So even if they were like, was he 9? He was 9, right? So you kept this up till you were 16 years old? Until you were 16 and he was 19? Brother, that's fucking wild. That is wild. I'm really curious how you avoided some of the most obvious developments in video games, like a microphone, for that long. Mike, I just want to get my guilt out of the way now. I was unfair to a friend who seemed so genuine and nice. I continued to lie because I didn't know at this point, how do I get out of it? How do I stop this without losing that friendship? If he ever asked me about what my friends were like or what being a girl was like, I would tell him things that I knew about my sister's daily life. I'm not sure what he thought, but to him I was the shyest, tomboyish daddy's girl who also liked video games. Somewhere in our adventures around Stranglethorn Vale, he asked me another question. What's the question? Yeah. Immediately. Oh, no. He asked me if I would be his girlfriend. As I sat there looking at the question on my screen, I decided to tell a white lie. An innocent little lie. We would never meet. We would never see each other. Who could it possibly harm? I said yes. Genuinely, I didn't know how to get out of this situation. This lie that started so small. But now I had developed a full-fledged false identity that just kept growing and growing and growing. I genuinely recall that this started to keep me up at night. All my brain was full of was processing ways to either get out or to respond to the questions in a way that made sense. I would run through, while lay in bed, hundreds, if not thousands, of potential questions that might be asked of me the following day. And then I would think of the answers. How would a real girl answer these questions properly? I went through subjects like Halloween costumes, movies we would maybe want to see together, where we would go to eat, what things we would do there, things we would like to see in the future. Innocent things to real friends, but for me, I was nervously sweating bullets, grafting more and more backstory onto this lie. It then got worse. As we were now a couple, certain opportunities arose. I told you at the beginning of this tale that I am guilty. Where is my guilty hammer? Because you're not just guilty, you are throbbing guilty. You are throbbing guilty. I exploited his kindness while I fulfilled my role. It started very innocently when I said I didn't have enough gold to buy some cloth or some pages for the Stranglethorn questline. He gave me the gold. After that, I started to ask for gold reasonably regularly to buy some little upgrades here and there from the auction house. I was still a kid. And I want you all to remember this. I was still a kid. I would re-roll professions all the time, and he paid for it. I made him so poor that he started skipping school to farm gold for me. This is getting really bad. I don't think we're even half. We're still, I think, in vanilla, and this goes on till Cataclysm. You guys better strap the fuck in. You guys better strap the fuck in. When I hit level 40, he bought my first mount. I took so much advantage of his generosity under false pretenses. I, of course, now at 30 years old, aware of what I did. What did I give in return? I could tell you that when I found out how happy it made him when I would emote/kiss, that I had found the way to repay the debt. We then hit another problem. My time in Vanilla WoW came to an end. My parents took the game away from me. I had become so wrapped up in my false identity and game time that I realized I had missed summer. Oh, fuck. Time for school? What do you mean? I've only just started the holidays. Dude, that was like a month and a half ago, bro. I had spent pretty much every single day of the summer vacation in Azeroth instead of doing literally anything else. My addiction to the world of this false identity that I had kept returning to caught up to me big time. One of the last things I remember doing with Soulbear, under the lie, was going with him to the Blasted Lands on his level 60 and my level 52 hunter. He showed me the portal to Outlands and explained the lore of the subject while I listened with genuine interest. I remember him saying he can't believe he's so lucky to find a girl who cares about WoW lore as much as he does. Oh, brother. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, no. So lucky to spare. Oh, no. He told me he was going to find out more because I was genuinely interested so he could regale me with it. He was so excited to carve a path with me, hand in hand, into whatever WoW's first expansion means. While I taught him what expansions look like in EverQuest. All this while wearing the mask of his girlfriend. When my account went dark, on the day my parents took WoW away, I did not tell him why. Not because I'm a cruel, heartless bastard, but because I didn't have a means to. I just vanished. I developed false relationships with him and his younger brother. I played alongside them countless times, and even shared my first name. A name that could be understood as a unisex name in Kentucky, further cementing the illusion. But one day, for him anyway, I just left. I metaphorically was the wife that was gone when he returned home from work. Outside of WoW, I spent much time pondering why the fuck did I do all that? Why I maintained this persona as I did, imagining what telling the truth might look like. The thought of confessing and the repercussions terrified me. What if he found some way to explain this mess to my dad while he was playing? What would he say? Would he hate me? What would happen? I wasn't just deceiving him. I was now lying to my guild, the friends I had made alongside him, and by extension, the connections we had made on the server. As far as everybody in World of Warcraft knew, I was a girl. If I told the truth, and remember, this is vanilla WoW, there's no disappearing here on that character, I knew the fallout would be brutal. People would see me for I was. I would get a name, blacklisted. I would be known as a manipulative liar, a catfish, someone who betrayed trust of not only one person, but lots of people to take advantage. Thankfully, my dad, in solidarity with me not being able to play, did not resubscribe until Wrath of the Lich King. Fuck that. Fuck that. I am not missing out on TBC because my kids can't control themselves. You can fuck that noise off straight away. Absolutely no way. He said, if I got A's and B's at school, then he would think about reactivating our WoW accounts. Unfortunately, I was too much of a punk to do that no matter how much I wanted it. What does that even mean? Does that mean you're a dumbass or... I need a US translation here. I was too much of a punk. Is he lazy? I don't know what that means. Is that not sure what the UK a dumbass 100% basically. A dickhead, a lazy cunt, mouthy bastard. I don't know. I don't know what punk's not something that gets used a lot in this context in the UK. A rebel? That's a UK. Our UK version of punk is a rebel. A jock? I don't know. Instead, I watched my friends and schoolmates play at their houses. Just learn, motherfucker. Just learn. Why would you skip learn? Fucking hell. Glimpsing the joys of the Burning Crusade vicariously through their screens. The stupid thing was, I really, really wanted to be back in the game. But not only did I not get the grades, there was still a shadow hanging over me. A shadow of the actions that I had committed. While I, of course, had to skip the Burning Crusade, I was gaming in other ways. I played Vanguard of the EverQuest universe, City of Heroes, shout-outs to my fallen love. Really? I never liked it. Using them to fill the void. But all the time while I played them, there was always WoW lurking behind every game. My dad introduced me to RuneScape too, which I'm learning about on Monday. At first, I thought it was a joke compared to WoW or UO, some kind of late April Fool's joke. But I came to appreciate it. Maybe I'll have that experience. I found a home away from home in Tamriel. Morrowind was familiar to me as a young kid, but too daunting. The same for Oblivion until I was in middle school. Watching Dad go through the hellscapes and dark dungeons was terrifying. Now I consider the Elder Scrolls to be my favourite series of single-player games all time. I didn't return to WoW until the Ulduar patch of Wrath of the Lich King. I remember being outside on the lawn of my home when I looked in the window of our den and busted him. I caught him red-handed. Dad was installing WoW on his PC. Busted! Dad cracked. The motherfucker. Dad cracked. To be fair, Dad held on for like 3 years, bro. Dad held out for like 3 years. And he's like, fuck it. My kid's a dick. Fuck it. God damn it. Got a punk kid. I'm fucking playing WoW. Fuck this shit. Everyone's having a good time. I knew I would soon be able to return. As soon as I saw that he'd installed it, I knew that I was also going to be able to come back. I would need to control my anticipation and joy around Dad. Play it cool. I had asked him if I could have my WoW account back many, many times over the years. I must have been behaved enough in combination with his own nostalgia to warrant the resub. I had never forgotten Soulbear or the lies I had told along the way. My first time touching it again, I was playing on my dad's account. He told me, I'm not paying for your account, son. But if I'm not playing, you can play on mine. If I was to get my account active again, there were still conditions to be met. Either grades or get a fucking job, so I could pay for it myself. For the time being, I played under his account occasionally with new characters to avoid having to do any of those things. You lazy cunt. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Mike, I met none of these conditions until Cataclysm. Why? Why? Instead, I just made new characters on my dad's account throughout the entirety of the end of Wrath of the Lich King. But in Cataclysm, I got a job and paid for my own account. I checked on my dad's account using /who if Soulbear was still there. He was. I never came clean to him directly, and he never noticed my return while under my dad's first account. But the time had come. I logged into my female night elf hunter. The friends list does not forget, my friends. There it was, Soulbear, his brother, everyone I'd made friends with all those years ago. It actually took a couple of days. It wasn't immediate. His brother sent me a message in the pink. Absolutely ecstatic. So excited. So happy to see me back. To know that I was alive. From their POV, I had just disappeared off the face of the earth one day. They welcomed me back so well. Where had you been? What happened? And telling me how Soulbear had waited for me. Soulbear's brother shared that after I had disappeared, Soulbear waited and then went on his own pilgrimage. Soulbear had gone through every single WoW server at the times that I'd usually be online, searching out my name and variations of my name to see where I was. Soulbear's brother also shared the heartbreak that his girlfriend had vanished and had maybe had something happen to them. Now, at this time, I had made my own MySpace page. Oh no, no way. that had a picture of my real face on it. Outside of WoW and that weird world that I created, I had no issue representing the real me online. His brother asked if I had a MySpace. I had grown up a lot by this point. I was 16 years old. I'd been wrestling with guilt for years, so I thought the only way to deal with this was to fucking send it. So I just went, yep, and gave him the link. Fuck it. I mean, just throw it, dude. Just fucking send it, bro. It's Ogre. It's all Ogre. Just fucking send it. Of course, this was the moment the truth came out. My very clearly boyish face on MySpace. Wow. The MySpace reveal. It shattered the illusion I'd built years ago. I came clean and doubled down, reiterating that no, this really is me, as their immediate thought was this was the wrong MySpace page. He unloaded on me in the pink. He had every right to be mad at me. I can't recall all the things he called me, but fuck it, I deserved it. He was going to tell Soulbear immediately IRL. The confrontation went so public that it began to be spammed in the trade chat that I was actually a guy who had pretended to be a girl playing the part of his brother's girlfriend. The reaction from trade by Cataclysm, though, was not sympathetic. Yeah, wrong crowd. In vanilla, you might have got some reaction to that. By Cataclysm, all bets are off, baby. GIRL is, yeah, okay. By Cataclysm, that is a fucking hardened soldiers fucking expansion. That's when everyone's quitting. The dungeons are too hard. They've got fucking cesspool guilds are popping up everywhere. That's some fucking boots on the ground soldiers there. They don't give a fuck. It actually reversed on them. They actually thought it was hilarious that bro had been played so much. The crowd mocked him and laughed at them for being fooled, asking if they blew him. Now, I have to say, this did not alleviate my guilt. You may have thought it did, but it did not. I felt gross. I realize over and over how deeply my actions cut through friendship and someone's dignity. The situation spiraled beyond anything I imagined as a 9-year-old who just wanted attention and some gold. I hurt the reputation of people who genuinely called me friend. I take no pride admitting all of this. I never got the chance to come clean to Soulbear directly. They changed servers shortly after the reveal and the backlash they got from the trade. Oh, nasty. Oh, that would have been all but forgotten about in a week. In solidarity, to give them as much space as possible, I changed servers as well to get rid of this haunting memory. The Molten Front patch was tough on our little PvP server. We were outnumbered with Horde. And now the Emerald Dream is my home in retail. I just want to say to Soulbear, if you're listening to this guy talk about this story and it becomes familiar to you, I just want you to know, because I can't tell you any other way, I am sorry. I do not deserve your forgiveness. I am guilty. Guilty as charged. Hammer thine gavel with great justice and strict rule against me with all I'm guilty for. Thank you, preaching audience, for allowing me the space to tell my story. I remember to only tell the truth in matters of friendship. You can, but I will not give you the full guilty verdict. You were 9 and they were 11. You were dumb kids. They'll get over it. It's fine. It's fine. It was a silly thing that happened. It's a silly thing that happened. Yeah, it's a silly thing that happened when you were like 9 and 11. It's fine. It's fine. There'll be bigger concerns going on every 6 months than those things. So you're okay. Don't let the guilt weigh on you too much. I wouldn't do that. What a wonderful story. And of course, everybody listening to this right now has a story to share with us. You've all played online games with strangers doing weird and wonderful things. And you can share them with us at drama@preachgaming.com. We do the show every Friday at 4 p.m. Would love to hear from you. Especially as we're jumping into old school RuneScape on Monday. For how long? I don't know. But always like it. Doesn't need to be from WoW. Could be from anything you've played. It's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, our journey, this road has come to an end for this week. We'll be back on Monday morning. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you for an amazing week. I'm out. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody. Have a good